So this is the new Apple TV 4K 2021. Is that any different from Apple TV's 2017 4K version? Is there any major differences at all? Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm Vamsi from HDMI Proxy, and in this video, we'll compare both of them and see what the major differences are and if it's worth upgrading at all. So right off the bat, here are the major differences and similarities for you to see. With that being said, let's take a major look at the differences that are actually there, starting with design. So when it comes to look and feel, both of them look exactly the same side by side, because they've got the same color and same size and everything. In fact, all the port alignment is the same with power, HDMI, Ethernet connectors on the rear of the unit. However, the only change there is the HDMI port on the newer version, which is 2.1 rather than 2.0 found in the 2017 device. That means if you have an external soundbar that supports HDMI EARC, then you should definitely get the newer Apple TV 2021. One of the major upgrades in the newer Apple TV 4K is the new Siri remote. The 2017 remote was something every Apple TV user really hated. In fact, don't get me started with those problems that it had. The touch interface was confusing, the trackpad goes all the way to the end, there's no mute button, and the back button is labeled with a TV icon, which is weird. But finally, Apple fixed these problems with the newer Siri remote. They've replaced the touchpad with a touch-enabled click pad that sounds like the circular select button in the upper part of the remote. And there's also a mute button. The back button is labeled correctly as a back button. You also have a dedicated power button in the upper right corner and a Siri button on the side of the remote. I also like that the new remote is not a perfect square like the previous generation, so it wouldn't just slip under your remote or just, hide in a corner somewhere. And the silver colors really helped me find it in a dark room compared to the black one, which was the previous remote. Also, the new remote comes with Bluetooth 5.0, unlike the 4.0 from the previous version, which means that all connections maintain over further distances. You'll also be able to control your TV or receiver via infrared or CEC, a feature that the old remote just didn't offer. Oh, by the way, let me know if you want to see a detailed video on how to use the new Apple TV remote effectively. So overall, the new Siri remote is compatible with both of these devices, so you can just upgrade the remote alone for $69 as it comes with tons of quality of life features, so you don't have to buy a new Apple TV 4K altogether. You can just buy this one and upgrade the remote alone. So another major change that you probably would notice right away in the new Apple TV 4K is the processor. Well, the older 4K model came with A10X processor as found in the 2017 one. The newer Apple TV 2021 comes with a A12 Bionic chip. Yes, that's the same chip that's found in iPhone XS, but does it make any difference? Well, for the most part, I didn't find the old Apple TV to lag in terms of performance. The basic browsing, streaming Netflix, YouTube is all the same in both of them. However, if you play Apple Arcade games by connecting your PS5 or PS4 controller, you might get a little boost in performance in the newer Apple TV because of the chip. But it's nothing significant that most people would notice, since the previous gen is already super fast. So as I mentioned earlier, the HDMI port in Apple TV 4K 2021 is HDMI 2.1 instead of 2.0, unlike the last gen. So there's a ton of new features that are quality of life and really good. For example, you can now watch 4K HDR video at 60 frames per second, plus iPhone 12 users can stream Dolby Vision 4K video directly to their Apple TV, the new one of course, over AirPlay. But there's still no 4K 120 FPS, although that would have been dope, because I like higher frame rates. So if you've got Wi-Fi 6 at your home, well, you're in luck, because Apple TV 4K supports Wi-Fi 6, unlike the previous gen, which only supports Wi-Fi 5. That said, there won't be much difference even with the Wi-Fi 5 routers, since Wi-Fi 6 is mostly handy when you have a lot of devices in the network and you need a good battery life on your phone. In terms of speed, I didn't notice any major differences between 6 and 5. So both of the models run tvOS 14.5 and look exactly the same. There's not much difference in tvOS. You get Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision HDR in both models, also Apple AirPlay for casting from other iOS devices, Apple HomeKit for smart home connectivity, and the Siri voice assistant all work similarly on both devices. In fact, there's only one thing that I would like to be clear: the new calibration feature that most of you saw in the Apple event, where you just have to use the camera on your iPhone to calibrate the color balance on your Apple's 4K TV. Well, this feature is not limited to Apple TV only. You can use it both on Apple TV 4K models and Apple TV HD. Just use the Apple TV app and point the iPhone at your screen, and you'll be able to fine-tune hues so you get the best possible video displayed. That said, of course, in long-term updates, the new Apple TV 2021 will outperform its predecessor when it comes to moving up the next, fewer versions of tvOS. But at the moment, they both deliver pretty much the same experience. So if you've already got the Apple TV 4K from 2017, should you really upgrade to the 2021 version? Well, not really, because even though it does come with a better remote and has a better picture quality, it's not worth the upgrade if you ask me. In fact, given how incremental the changes are over the 4-year model, it's not surprising that Apple chose to only do a hardware revision with newer chipset instead of a complete overhaul altogether. But if you don't have an Apple TV that's 4K already, this one is the only option for you, so you're better off with this one instead of the old version, because the last one has been discontinued. Also, if you're looking for a streaming device that gives you a good bang for your buck, you're better off buying Fire TV Stick 4K or Shield TV even for that matter. As always, I'm Vamsy, thanks for watching, and if you're new here, subscribe, because we put out videos every other week regarding streaming devices, streaming services, and a bunch of other those little tips and tricks that are quite useful in regular life. Anyway, I'm Vamsy, thanks again, see you in the next one.